Coach Deborah has a passion and purpose to assist young men, ages 15 to 24, to overcome obstacles and build their best lives. She wants to see every young man live out their potential. She has a master's degree in human services counseling, with a major in life coaching. More importantly, she is the mother of 3 boys, who are exceptional, educated, professional men. Coach Deborah believes it is better to train early, rather than need to fix later. She utilizes basic principles and God-led concepts. Sometimes the only thing a young man has is their credibility or their name. The actions they take are based on the decisions they make. Those decisions align with their choices and result in consequences. Coach Deborah can assist you if you are lost, floundering, or confused. Embrace the help and start building your best life today.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome everyone to Build Your Best Life and Reach Out. I'm super excited today because I have a very special guest all the way from Texas, Minister Maurice Davis. How are you today?
I am doing wonderful today. It's a blessed day, and I'm just grateful to be here and be on this podcast with you. Amen.
All right. Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you again for tuning in today. Hi, Dan. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. We are still talking about reaching out for gratefulness this month. We still have about 7 days left, 8 days left in this month. And so we're talking about reaching out for gratefulness because we have so many things to be grateful for each and every day. So we have a great topic we think for you today. So we want to get started, but please make sure before we get started that you make sure that you like, comment, and share. We thank you for all your support, for praying for Build Your Best Life and tuning in. But please make sure that you like, comment, and share as you watch. So we want to get this information out all over the world. And what better way to do that is if everybody will share. So please share with us. So before we get started, we want Minister Davis to tell us all about him and what he likes to do.
All right. Again, like she said, my name is Minister Maurice Davis, and I am a husband to a beautiful wife, Toshika Davis, and I have 3 beautiful children. They're all like teenagers and young adult, young men and women, and ages 21, actually 21, 19, and 18. And just a father that loves his family, that loves his children. And most of all, I just really love working with our young people, our youth. I used to be a Little League football coach like a couple years ago. And that what started me working with young people and kind of helping them discipline themselves when they get older, also to help them build goals, not only just on the athletic level, but just in life, because we are looking at them as being our future, our future for tomorrow. And so I just I love working with our youth. I started working with the youth at our church where I attend, Pathway of Life Church, and just ever since then, just really have a love for our young people. You know, when I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of people to have that influence in my life. So I believe that God has given me that opportunity now to be able to pour into young people as pour into their lives because I didn't have it, poured in mine. And so just grateful to just to have a chance to be on here and to just hopefully bring about a positive mindset to people, and hopefully they can take this and go with it and take their goals and take it up another level, and at the end of it, be able uh, to reach that goal and make sure that the goal that they're setting, that they're reaching, then afterwards and later on after that, they could go back and do the same things that I'm doing, bring other young people up or other young men and women up and teach them on how to reach their goals. And so I'm just so excited again, uh just glad to be here. I am.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, thank you again. And, it sounds like, you have a passion like I do. And it's so funny that, the more you work with someone or young men or whoever you have that purpose for, the more you want to work with them and do.
Exactly, that is so true because I had just at first I didn't really have that passion or that goal. Once I became a single father, it pushed me because I was a single father of two boys, and so that really pushed me into, because I wanted them to see that, okay, dad is doing everything he can to make sure we have what we need. He's not disappointing us, he's not failing us. And that was one of my goals, to make sure that I didn't fail them, that I brought out everything that I could out of them, to where when they get older they can learn from what I taught them or what I'm teaching them. And as of now, my oldest son right now, he's a junior in college, and he wants to be a sports broadcaster. And so I have a daughter that's in she's her first year in college, and she wants to be a financial counsel, financial analyst. I'm sorry. And so just being able to teach them and to show them, hey, goals are important. Set your goals, stick with them, and it just became, ever since then. It's just I just have a love for it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for stepping up. All
Thank you. Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, I want to say good evening to Yolanda Samuel Grandison. Thank you for tuning in. And Yvonne Whitfield, thank you both for tuning in.
Thank you.
Our topic that we're going to talk about is a golden sky, a golden sky. And
Wow.
when I think about a golden sky, it's reminiscent of a beautiful sunset, which is the result of God's, beautiful creation and the
Yeah.
timing. That sun has to hit that sky at the right time, and you have to be at the right place to see that. But it
Exactly.
also, to me, represents peace and satisfaction.
Okay.
It is bizarre that sometimes the most beautiful things that come out of something started out rough, unsightly, or severe. So, some examples of that, you hear people say something about a diamond in the rough. So, what did, we wear these beautiful diamonds, but what did they look like when they dug them up out of the ground? Was it this ugly rock that somebody really didn't know if it was
Yeah.
really a diamond, how it started? Then you look at the rainbow. A rainbow is not going to come up unless it's been storming or raining.
That's
So
it.
after that storm, you get that beautiful rainbow.
Yeah.
Better situation after going through a dramatic incident in your life.
Yeah.
When you come out of that, you are just so happy, and it could have went an entirely different way, but you've made it out of that. So that's,
Exactly.
to me, that's the golden sky.
Yes, yes. And it's great that you use those illustrations, because I thought too the same thing, as the golden sky is like God's beautiful creation. And we look up in the sky, we see this beautiful golden sky, and then it just like, to me, it's like a very pretty sight, and it's like nothing bad, nothing negative. And it took me to that term, and then I always try to remember the term, the sky is the limit. And so
Mm.
I use that as the sky is the limit, because there's no limit to what you can do. You know, you always have your the limit. You can make a limit, but there is no limit. You have any type of life goal or achievement that you want to accomplish. The sky is the limit, and this golden sky is a perfect example, because it's perfect, it's beautiful. And
Yes.
any type of goal that you're trying to set, it could be, you can reach that goal perfectly, should I say. And so that that sky, golden sky, I love that topic, because like I say, when I kind of just like looked up a golden sky, and I saw, man, that is pretty. It's just beautiful, and it's God's creation. And to have that saying that the sky's the limit, there's nothing can stop you. Only you can stop you.
That's right. Yeah, that positive mindset. And you said the sky is the limit, so you can just go. Man may try to stop you, but you just keep going, going, going.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, that is a beautiful thought of a golden sky. But you just think about it, it's just so beautiful.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I love the illustration again that you use about the rainbow. You know, we look up in the sky, we see this beautiful rainbow, and that rainbow could represent our life, because at the end of it, there's, the beauty of what comes at the end of the rainbow, like you say. Uh and then when you think about, storms, and when you go through those storms, at the end of that storm, there is a golden sky, there is that beautiful rainbow. So no matter, this is a perfect example to let us know that no matter what we go through, that we have to continue to press forward, continue to move forward, because at the end of that storm, there will be a golden sky.
Oh, yes. Yes,
I
yes,
love this.
yes. Yes. Yes, and and again, storms are typical and they are expected because life
Exactly.
happens.
Exactly.
Situations come into our lives for different reasons. Life experiences, something slows us down. We're in a hurry to do something and we want to do it our way, but we get stopped and slowed down, and it's like, what's going on? But
Exactly.
maybe we get slowed down because there's something better waiting for us when we come out of that time that we got slowed
Exactly.
down.
Exactly. Exactly. And I
Yeah.
just when those things, that, and that's one of the things that I would teach our, or I would just say minister, or just kind of talk to most of our young men about, is when those storms come, because like you said, they are expected, they will come. I mean, we got to keep going. We can't give up. We can't sit back and just let the storm continue to beat us up. It took me to the parable in the Bible where Jesus was on the boat with the disciples, and the
Mhm.
storm came. And when the storm came, they all panicked, but he just said, "Peace, be still." And so, in that process, and I'm just paraphrasing, but in that process, he calmed the storm for us. And if we continue to believe in God, and that the goals that we have set, or whatever issue, that the storm that we going through, just know that God is gonna bring us through it. He's gonna bring peace, as you said earlier, in that storm. And when he brings peace in that storm, then we shouldn't have anything to worry about, because God is prepared us, and he's made a way for us to make it through. We're not gonna always be in it. And so that's the message that I will always try to let them know: just keep moving forward.
Keep
Don't give up.
moving. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on transitioning through a bad situation? So, you had that bad situation. So, what's that process look like?
Whew. Transitioning from a bad situation, first of all, when we look at transitioning, is changing, from one situation to another, whether it's a good situation to a bad. But in this case, we're talking about transitioning from a bad situation. Transitioning from a bad situation is just not allowing that bad situation to overtake us. And so transitioning from it, we got to always stay positive, first of all. Second of all, we got to know that these bad situations are not gonna always be bad situations. And being able to transition from that, we got to believe that we're going to come out of it. Some people have that tendency, well, this is kind of like I can't make it, I'm not going to make it, this is just what God, how God made me to be, or this is just the situation. But we have to know that in transitioning, we have to work towards making that bad situation a good situation by working and doing everything necessarily or positively to make sure that those situations are done or taken or should I say uh taken care of, should I say. And then just know that when we are in that transition, it's not going to always look good, because when we some things don't just happen overnight. I'm actually not trying to say much about it, but ministering to a friend of mine now that's going from in a situation right now that he's trying to transition from, and I'm just showing him or trying to teach him or to show him that it's a bad situation right now, but you have to allow it in your mind right now to uh, get all of the negativity out of your mind, get all of the bad things, all of the wrongful things out of your mind, and start working towards the things, the good things that in that's ahead of him or ahead of that person. And so trying to transition from that bad situation, you have to have the mindset, because if you don't have the mindset, you're going to stay in that bad situation. So transitioning, as I was saying before, is not always going to look good, but the outcome of it, once you come out of that bad situation, you can begin to see that, okay, I pressed forward, I never gave up, and now the situation has went from a bad situation to a good situation, and now I can continue to build from that, continue to work and go forward from that.
All right. Yeah. Like you say, you stay moving forward. You got to keep moving. You can't just stop. Like hi Kendrick and hi Karen. Like
Hey,
Kendrick
Chris.
says, storms are temporary, and we have to remember that they are not going to last always. They're temporary.
That's
You
right.
can only see what's on the other side if you keep pushing. And,
Yes.
if you think about it, if you're like me, I don't like to drive in the rain at all. But sometimes you drive and you just drive right into that storm, because we know how the clouds form. They're not just consistent. So you drive
Right.
through that storm and it's like, oh my goodness, do I need to pull over and
Yes.
wait? But what's going to happen if you pull over and wait? You're going to still be under that same uh, set of clouds, and it's going to
Right.
continue to storm. But if you keep
Exactly.
moving, you're going to drive out of it. And you might drive out into that pretty rainbow. So you got to
Yes.
keep moving.
Exactly, exactly. And I'm similar, same way, driving, in bad conditions, because most people, what they do is, like you say, they will stop and they will just sit and wait, and then wait till the storm passes over. We will say, okay, yeah, yeah, that's a good thing. But when we're talking about in life, the storms of life, we can't sit and wait for the storms of life to pass us over. We have to continue to move forward. We have to continue to work at transitioning from that situation, because if we continue to let that situation dwell within us, it could be bad for us, could be bad for our families. It could make life a lot worse than what it is. And so I um can, and when you transition, and once you move from that transition from that bad situation, then it'll take you to what we was talking about earlier, to that golden sky, and then
Yeah.
you can be able to see the beauty and what life holds for us. I know so many people that has just sat because of bad situations, that they just kind of sat and just allowed it to take them under. And then when it took them under, they, so I have friends that are homeless. I have friends that are just in a lot of bad, situations. And so, well, not necessarily friends, but people that I have known, coming up through time. And because of them not allowing their situations to change and transition from it, they just kind of stayed stagnant, and they didn't get a chance to fulfill, what God has for them in their lives. And so we have to just, continue to be mindful that storms are gonna, like they said, storms are gonna come, storms are gonna go. We have to persevere. We got to.
Yeah, and as you were saying that, I know we were talking earlier about, the way you talk into your children's lives to,
Yes,
show them and teach them, about life and how they have to grow and get strong and have faith and move on. But while
yes.
you were talking, I thought about, I don't know, I was browsing through something and I saw that Tyler Perry had a documentary. And so my
Okay.
husband and I watched it Saturday, and it was just awesome. And to me,
Yeah.
this is the same thing. It was, the title of it is, if y'all haven't watched it, is Maxine's Boy.
Oh, okay. I've
It
heard of it, but I haven't watched it yet. I've
was
heard of it.
very good. So, it had different people in his life. I didn't realize that he was a member of Paul Morton's church, St.
Okay.
Stephen's in Louisiana, whatever.
Yes, yes,
But we all know how he struggled because he knew what he had in him
yes,
to get out of him, to teach
yes,
people and tell people you don't always have to stay where you are. Things happen in your life, but you're given a purpose, and you need to move and act on that purpose. And so all the negative things and bad things he went through, he didn't stop. But one of
okay.
the things that really, really hurt him was one night someone had told him, or they didn't tell him that night, but they had said, hey,
Yeah.
you need to go try this place. And it was another disaster.
Uh,
And he went back to his mom because she had given him money to rent this van to get to the place to do the play. And she said, well, how am I going to get my money back to pay for that rental truck? And he's like, you need to go get a job. You're not going to do any better. I don't,
mm,
and she just blessed him out. And he said, she finally looked at him and tears were running down his face. And she said, I'm sorry, but I want to see you do better. But
right.
he knew what his better was. God gave him
Yes,
a purpose. So he didn't stay, stagnant. He kept moving. And
that's
you
good.
look at where he is today, and not only is he seeing his purpose, but his purpose was to help all these thousands of people that he's helping.
Yes, that's good. That's good. And I've followed Tyler Perry, and watched a lot of his plays, even went to a couple of them, and the messages that he have, it's always, positive messages that he give. And just to know his backstory, is he talked about it a lot, about him not having this and being homeless, and for him to start out as low as he did, because he continued pressing through and going forward, and as we were saying a while ago, transitioning to from that bad situation. Look at him now, he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
And he's still influencing, people to not only that you can do whatever. Like, as I said before, sky's the limit. Him, I believe he believed in that term as well. The sky's the limit. If I got to rent a van to go do what I gotta do, I'm gonna do it. And he became successful. And I just pray that, a lot of these, people that get into those positions can do the same, can go out and just teach people how to become successful or reach a goal. And so that's a prayer of mine, to
Right.
make, that they could do that, to instill in those that are trying to reach the goal but just don't really know how.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. So, what would be the first piece of advice that you would give to young men who encounter negative situations?
Well, the first piece of advice that I would give, first of all, is to never give up. That's one thing I would tell them, to never give up, no matter what the situation is, no matter how hard it may get, no matter what it looks like, because we could see one thing on one side, but on the other side could be something totally different. And then I would say, be positive. Sometimes we can have these negative thoughts in our minds, and whatever it is that we're thinking of, and it tends to take control of our thoughts, take control of our process. So now we're doing things negatively when we can do those things positive, which will make a change in the situation. And then thirdly, I would just say, I always know that you know um God created us. He created us to be uh to be leaders, should I say. He created us to have that mindset too, because we have a Christ. If we have that Christ-like mind, then we have that mindset to know that anything that we can do, or the any type of negative encounter that we go through, we can get past it. We can move forward past it. So as I said before, never give up. Be positive, because once you give up, you defeat yourself. And when you defeat yourself, you're no longer in that fight to try to make things better. So negative, as we were saying before, negative encounters, negative situations, they're gonna come. God did not promise us a great life. He did not promise us that we weren't going to have problems. He did not promise us that we're not going to have situations. And as men, God created us as men to be those ones, to be the ones to uh, uh, overcome those situations. He give us the tools daily to fight and overcome and encounter those situations. So, but one is to never give up. If you don't give up and you continue to move and press forward, then you are already setting yourself up for greatness. You're setting yourself up for a positive mindset. And when those two things come together, there's nothing that can stop you. And so I encourage our men, our young men, with these goals that you are setting, like I was saying before, some may try to want to be football players, and you have to always some things may come up, and just to say this real quick, uh, because my son is varsity football player, and that's one of his goals, and but I have to teach him and have to understand, let him know that there is consequences in order to go to college, in order to go to the pros. And those consequences are, first of all, most recruits say you have to have good grades. That's the first thing they say. Your grade point average has to be a certain level, or a certain a grade point average. And so for those young men that feel like, well, man, I don't know if I'm smart enough now, we have to be positive. We have to think positive. That's where you have to come in now and say, hey, I can do this. The Bible tells us I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens us. I can do this. No matter what my grade point average look like now, but my senior year, it will get higher. Yes. No matter what my mindset is right now, if I think positive and never and keep pushing toward that, then I can reach that goal, no matter what it looks like. Or you got naysayers. People gonna say what they're gonna say. They're gonna try to talk you out of it. I've had plenty of people that have tried to talk me out of a lot of situations and a lot of things. And because of my mindset, I listen. So we have to listen to positive people, and we have to be positive ourselves. And that's the only way we're going to encounter and we're going to get through those negative situations.
All right, it's very good. So I hope everybody was taking notes. Never give up. Be positive, and know God created us to be leaders. And just like you said, those kids thinking, well, my grades are not where they need to be. Can I do this? Hey, right. God's not gonna give you a purpose if He don't give you the skills to go along with them. But you got to put in some work.
Exactly.
You got to put in the work. But I love it. And I love that positive mindset, because you have to have a positive mindset, because you can talk yourself out of anything.
You can.
So you got to think positive, be positive, and allow in your circle to have positive people.
Exactly. And just to add on to that giving up, my mom always tell me, she says, son, giving up is not an option. And so if we can blot that out of our minds, if we can disclude just giving up. I mean, there were times where just in life as a kid, and I just tell my story. When I was 13, I started learning how to play the piano, and my thing was I would pray every day, God, please teach me how to play, teach me how to play. And so at the time, there was these musicians, they were kind of teaching me, they were just kind of showing me the fingering and all of this here. And I was just looking at them like, this is not really helping me. And so since it was to that point to I've wasted time, I said, something, I just really can't do this. And I didn't give up, but at the same time, I continued to pray and I asked God to teach me how to play. And so God immediately come to me and he said, you asked me to teach you how to play. You ain't asked all these other people. He said, so I'm gonna teach you. So as a 13-year-old choir director, I'm directing a choir and the musicians are both on each side. And God just told me to stop. He said, just look, listen, and I'm gonna teach you. And I looked at each one of them as they were playing, and I listened. And God immediately taught me how to play the piano. I probably can't read piano music, but the gift of being able to play by ear, you can pretty much play anything. And so because I never gave up, right today, 30, almost 40 years later, I'm playing the piano and still know how to play. And God has elevated me to play the organ now, play piano, play keyboard. And so because I never gave up, I could have easily said, something, God, since they not showing me nothing, then I don't want to play no more. As you can see behind me, I got a keyboard sitting up behind me now. So it's a passion now. So that's an example for me to give to our young men, no matter what it looks like. If it just looked like that you can't do it, remember you can, because God created you to be able to do these things, and never give up. That's my lesson. Never give up.
Never give up. If y'all don't remember anything else tonight, remember that. Never give up.
Never give up.
Right.
It will, God, it will come to pass. All you gotta do is trust and believe. It will come to pass.
Yes, most definitely.
Yes.
All right. Kendrick says that is amazing.
That's my brother. That's my brother. Good to have you all here, man.
Wait, I guess you don't know this. That's my son.
Kendrick?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Since October, he's me and my husband's son.
Hey, that's awesome.
Dr. Kendrick.
Dr. Kendrick. Well, I appreciate you being on, my brother. And thank you for the comments, because I've been watching them. I was like shaking my head like, yeah, that's true. That is true. That's my brother.
Yeah. Good person. Sometimes people will shut down when bad times show up. They may go into depression, or they just may throw in a towel, like you could have done, but you didn't. So please tell us some tips on managing life as well as your mental health as you face problems.
That is an interesting question and an interesting subject, because there are so many people that just deal with managing life and deal with mental health, and we really have to continue to teach one another, show one another that the importance of managing your life, because if you don't manage your life right, or correctly, or should I say, manage your life right, it will bring about bad mental health. And so one thing I can say is, excuse me, try not to get so emotional and distraught when negative situations occur. Because sometimes when we get emotional, we don't think straight. And when we get emotional, our minds started, going into negativity or going into negative thoughts. And then once those negative thoughts enter in, that brings about bad, your mental health. Then it changes your mental health status, because some people can't handle issues, or they can't handle the bad things that happens in our lives. So when we manage those situations, or manage life, and making sure that our mental health is not a big major problem to us, we have to just settle down. Like I say, I tell myself a lot of times when I get distraught about some things, I just say, hey, just take a deep breath, calm down, and think. And once we can do calm down, take that deep breath, think, and then our minds begin a little calmer. We can think clearly. We can be able to manage life. Then once I say we manage our lives, and get things in perspective, then our mental health issues or problems that we may have changes. There are, like I say, I knew people that deal with mental health is they're not able to focus right, and like you were saying before, that we could talk to them until they're blue, till we're blue in the face, so we just run out of words. And once we run out of words, and we could just talk to them, because the mental health, the status that they have, it's like it's just going in one ear, coming out the other. And so I just still feel that if we can be less emotional, less distraught about situations, because they're gonna come, calm down, relax, know that when these issues come about, we have a clear mind, if we have a clear mindset about what it is that we're going to, that whatever the problem or the issue may be, then we can think straight. Then it will help towards our issues mentally. I did say that because if we don't, it does bring about depression. Depression is a part of having mental health, uh, physical issues. I myself am diabetic. People I look like, really? Like, yeah, been diagnosed for a couple years now. And so my mental health is like, okay, I know I have this, but I know what I need to do to get this better, or to not allow it to get worse than what it is. And so in order for me to manage that, I'm just right by eating right, and not, intaking a lot of sugars or what have you, and just doing what I need to do to make sure that, everything stays right with my body. Then if I'm learning to manage that, then I can manage, life situations with my body, my mental health, my physical health. And these things are very serious, and people have to take mental health very seriously, because if we don't have that under control, we will spiral down into it just won't look good for us.
Yes. There's something that is really increasing as years progress, and especially with
Mhm.
our young males, our teenage and young adult
Oh
males.
yeah, oh
So,
yeah,
so
yeah. So it's I like I say, doing it's just important to manage your life. And our young men, is we're looking like right now, some of you may be saying that, oh, I'm young, I still got enough time, I still got a lot of time to get my life together. The time is now. We God tell us that we're not really even promised, you know we're promised to live, but we have to start life now. We have to start making those changes, those goals, those managing our life and doing it now, because tomorrow just may be, too late for us. And so we have to start now, and knowing that if I set myself goals, and I set these goals, yeah, it might not look good. It might start out wrong, or it might not be the way I want it. But if you continue to press forward, as I said before, never give up, continue to work towards those goals, then life become easier when you manage it right. But if you're in that state of mind to where, okay, I'm just gonna go through life as is, then that brings about that mental health. And then mental health always has a negative toll, not only on your body, but it has a negative toll on your just you yourself, period. So let us work on managing our lives. And once we can manage our lives and manage it to a process to where everything is positive, then we won't have to worry about mental health. And but I always say the main thing we have to do is always seek God, seek
Mhm.
Christ. Make sure we keep him, because we can't do all these things on our own. We have to seek him. He's the only one that's going to help us manage our lives. He's going to be the only one that can help us get through these mental health crises or whatever issues we may have. So that's my thing. Keep God, keep seek Christ, seek Christ, and manage life well, so you won't have to endure these issues. And when they do come, we're not handling.
That's right. Yeah, keep that positive mindset. Stay
Yes,
focused on God and have that faith, and He will help you through those trials and
exactly,
manage them.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
So we have a good topic here tonight, the golden sky. The essential message we want to convey is that problems are a part of life.
Yes,
However, we need to manage as best we can. Remember, when you come out of the storm, your situation may be better than it was before.
that's
So
true.
you got to keep moving. So, our closing question here, please provide our young men with things to give thanks for, even when they may be going through a problem, realizing there is a golden sky at the end of the situation as they navigate through life, attempting to
Yes.
build their best lives.
Whew,
That's
yes.
mouthful, isn't it?
Well, I tell you what. First of all, in order for us, should I say myself as young men, to build our best life, first of all, we got to be thankful for life, because God has given us life to live each and every day, and we have to be thankful for life. Life is, we know life is full of problems, and there's always a golden sky to look forward to after, in life. So for after a major storm or a bad situation, so we have to know to be, first of all, like I say, to be thankful for life, because God has given us life each and every day. He's given us life to live. He's given us life to be able to do anything that we can do, do just live life to the fullest. I like to use the example of, like, no matter what life gives you, you have to establish a relationship with God. And
Mhm.
once you establish or develop that relationship with Christ and trust him, to know that he's going to work those things out for you. And so life gives us, uh when those troubled times come, and when those issues of life approaches, and it seems like that cloud is coming up to cover up that golden sky that we're trying to reach for, that we're trying to see. Trust God. Build that relationship with God. I teach all the time that, hey, I know it looks rough. I know this look like this. I know this look like that. But believe me, God has brought me through a lot of cloudy days. And when he had brought me through those cloudy days, I was able to see this golden sky. And so, because I developed a relationship with him and I learned to trust him no matter what, Oh, if I had enough time, I could tell y'all the stories, the things that I have gone through, and my sons, they can bear witness because they had to go through it with me, and because I was developed that relationship, and that, going back to what I said, that I never gave up. I'm where I am today, and so we have to trust him. We have to develop that relationship with him. So even when you are going through those problems or going through those trials or whatever, and you have to realize that there is a golden sky. Because as we said before, problems are gonna come, but they're not gonna last. I love this song that I used to, being a musician, I used to play and sing all the time, that troubles don't last always. And I'm pretty sure y'all have heard that song before. Troubles
Yes.
don't last always. You're gonna have troubles, but they will not last always. So my thing is, I want to let you know is develop that relationship with God. When your back is up against the wall, trust God. And I know this might sound a little strange, but we have to thank God for those negative situations. Because if we don't thank God for those negative situations, and when those negative situations come, if we never had any negative situations or problems, we wouldn't know how to handle them. We wouldn't know what to do when they come up to us. So we have to thank God. I do it all the time. God, I thank you for this. Sometimes not just say it, but sometimes when the enemy springs something up on my laugh, because I'll be like, okay, you tried it, but it didn't work. I got something for you. And so just to give you that, young man, keep that relationship with God. Trust and know that God is gonna see you through it. I don't care what it looks like. It might take a week, it might take a month, it might take a year. But no, for me, it took me 11 years for God to show me that golden sky. I saw it. I mean, I didn't see it. That was my problem, because I didn't see it. And God could have given up on me and said, well, okay, if you don't see it now, I guess you'll never see it. But he continued to show me this golden sky. But until you recognize and you see it for yourself, you're going to continue
That's right.
to roll in that cycle. You're going to continue to move in that cycle of bad situations and bad things. So negative things. So in order to get to that point where you can build your best life, because it's waiting for you, it's ahead, it's right there. You just have to have that spiritual eye, and you have to have that spiritual eye and see it for yourself. And once you see it for yourself, that golden skies is gonna start opening up. And because of you having that relationship with God, He's gonna show it. He's gonna show it. And I just love it because when all of this, uh, when all of this happened to me, and all of the 11 years of just going through and going through this, just going through that cycle of having this good and negative things happening after that cycle, now God has really showed me, and I was able to walk into it. And in that process, I was able to walk into the calling of my ministry.
Mm.
And so, because I was going through the cycle, God is like, you're not ready yet. So the last thing just to say, so the encouragement is to gather, develop a relationship with God, gather and get that relationship with Christ, because your life, as the song said, is in his hands. So if you're building that relationship with him and you're doing everything accordingly to what he has for you to do, then you're going to be able to build your best life. And there's going to be nothing that's going to stop you from achieving it and reaching that goal. So I'm just uh excited about it, because I and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, but I remember when God was really trying to work with me and deal with me on my calling. The first thing that came to me was the situations that I had went through. It was storm after storm after storm after storm. So 11 years I had went through so many storms. But then God let me know that there will be a blessing out of your storm.
Yes.
And after that, 11 years where I'm at now, I have a beautiful wife, I have 3 children, and God is just really blessing me to be able to be faithful member of my church, and just serving and just doing everything. So last thing, I encourage you young men to get a relationship with Christ, never give up, have that vision, have that sight on whatever it is goal that you're setting. Use that goal as that golden sky. And when you use that goal as that golden sky, that's something that you have to look forward to. And when all else fails, when everything is said and done, you'll be able to build your best life. You'll be right there. It is because of the relationship you have with God, and because you never gave up. And that's that's my spiel.
That was good. That's good. Use your goal as the golden sky. So
Yes,
that
yes,
means whatever you got to go through, you go through it, but you're going to come out at the end of that goal.
as pure
You got a
gold, like they
witness, a
say.
great testimony there. It took 11 years,
Yes,
but he reached his goal, his purpose.
exactly.
And you
And
can see that smile on his face.
and 11 years, people would have given up. They would have been like, "Man, that is too long. I can't." I've had people that would come to me. How did you do it? I said, it was God. It wasn't me. It was all God. Because if I had given up on God, I probably wouldn't be here today. So that's my encouragement. Get a relationship with God. It took me 11 years. It might not take you longer, because it depends on your vision. It depends on your relationship. I was straddling the fence, going back and forth. But I finally seen, the vision. I saw the golden sky.
All right. That's awesome stuff. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that. So I hope everyone that's watching enjoyed it as much as I did.
Yes.
Sometimes I come up with these topics. It's like people are going to wonder, like, where did she come up with that from? But when I think about, I went back to 8th grade. I had to learn this song
Oh
about
yeah.
walk through the storm. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and a sweet silver song of a lark.
Okay.
I remember that. And I've been through some storms, and I know how it feels when you come out of it, so
Yes,
and you
yes,
gotta have that faith and walk in it.
yes, yes. It's a beautiful thing, and as we were saying earlier about that golden sky being, a beautiful scene, God's creation. Once you come out of that storm, once you walk out of it, oh, it's beautiful from here on out. It's beautiful. And so I really enjoyed this. I really did.
Good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you.
Please make sure that you visit my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org. So you
Yes,
can check out the blog that comes out each Monday at 10 a.m. You can look at my calendar of events to see what events are coming out. And you can get an autographed copy of my book, Build Your Best Life. And it's about your life, your actions, and your credibility, overcoming obstacles to build your best life. And you can do it. You got to just have that faith and know that you're going to go through some things, but you can come out of them.
yes.
So that is my passion and my purpose. And I'm going to do what I do until I can't do it anymore.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
So I really appreciate you coming on today. Do you have any closing thoughts that you would like to leave before we go?
Again, just to our young men that may be listening, my brother Ken, good to have you listening, and just want to encourage you guys. Hey, to never give up. I'm 49 years old. I'll be 50, and so uh, I never gave up, no matter what the situation was. And trust me, it was it was bad. It was really bad. But you could look at me today and be like, "Wow, man, it don't even look like you even went through." Trust me, I did. And so, but that's the closing words I want to do is encourage you guys to continue to never give up. God created us as men to fight. And so we have to continue to fight, continue to press forward, continue to be what God has created us to be. And that's men that's going to come in and take care of our families, that's going to take care of our children, raise our young men up, our young women up, and to do everything that we have to do to make sure life is not only good for us, but it's good for them. And then once we make sure life is good for us, then that golden sky that we're looking forward to, it's going to come. So be blessed. And I really appreciate the opportunity, and I enjoyed this. I really did.
All right. Thank you so much. And everyone that's normally on, Thursdays, we're normally on at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be on just to give you a Thanksgiving prayer. We will not keep you long. So if you get a chance to come on at 6:30 or later on just to hear the Thanksgiving prayer. But I do wish each and every one of you a happy and blessed Thanksgiving.
Yes.
If you're traveling, please be safe.
Yes.
But enjoy so much.
Yes. Be blessed.
Yes. And I will hope to see you Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. As we do Real Talk with Deborah and Anastasia.
Okay.
So enjoy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan. It's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. See you Saturday morning. Bye-bye.
Bye.